Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Entropia content. Now I got a whole bunch of comments, questions, and action about what's been happening in Entropia lately. Yesterday we had some really big news. I guess I was a little bit slow on the news because it opened with Internet Explorer and I said just fuck it, but then later I decided to check it out and I found some interesting stuff. Before I do that, let's begin a little bit of walking around FOMA. I don't know, yesterday's episode just got flooded with dislikes. The most dislikes I think I've ever had for a video. And I was wondering, no one actually put comments of why they disliked it, so I'm assuming it was just trolls that put it for no reason. I don't know. So yeah, if anyone wants to help me with constructive criticism about why they don't like the show and what they'd like to see improved, I really appreciate it. I know people said before about the bong silencer. That's still on the way from China. Hopefully it arrives soon. Yeah, let's get on to the news from yesterday's episode. I guess I'll walk and probably go right past the minerals and I'll just see if I happen to run into any while I'm walking. I should be sweating while I do all this discussing so I don't miss everything. Anyway, so yeah, there was a guy named Travi that posted in the YouTube comments that he liked the episode, but he's wondering why it was so short the past 2 days. I know some people were commenting that they wanted to see shorter episodes, but no one posted that they loved the shorter episodes. So I'll take that as a given that everyone who's commenting likes the longer episodes, so I'll keep doing those. Now what happened was I've just been going through a lot of stress the past couple days. I don't know, like taking my uncle to the washroom recently is starting to get to me where I was like, I don't know, I see how sad he is. Sometimes he's like really depressed that he's stuck in his room all the day because he can't move. And occasionally we get him outside, like I have to carry him like fucking, like actual carry him up and down flights of stairs, and it's really heavy to carry a person. I don't know if anyone's tried it, but I can usually only manage it once a month, maybe once a week if my back is doing really good. So yeah, I was just sort of getting down in the dumps. I was almost breaking down into tears taking him to the washroom because I felt so bad for him, but other days it doesn't seem to bother me as much. I get used to it. I just come to terms that, hey, some people's lives, this is how it ends, right? And can't fight it. We've brought him to the doctors, nothing they can do for him, so can't get too down the dumps over it. Just gotta try to make it through. But yeah, and then as the stress was getting to me, occasionally I stop the show and I have to like talk to my roommates and stuff and restart it. Past couple episodes, every time I go to restart it, I hit the restart button and it's right next to the stop button. Like, I don't know if anyone's used OBS, but their button is literally the same field and they just put a thin line between the two. So if I accidentally just go a millimeter over that line and click stop, it fucks the whole show and then it has to stop. I know some people are probably thinking, hey, why don't you just like stop it and restart recording and then join the two files together into one video? I've tried that and it fucking lowers the resolution so bad that you can't even watch it. So whenever that happens, I have to stop and do a whole new episode. I don't know what's going on with OBS. That's the one thing that I dislike about OBS over XSplit. XSplit, when I recorded, it was choppy. Like occasionally the frame rate was bad and wouldn't catch, you guys seen, but at least the resolution settings were high and the file sizes were always really small. So I don't know what's going on with OBS, but when I do the same recordings, I even turned it down to medium quality to try to make it better. The file sizes are fucking gigantic. Like I'm talking 60 gigs an episode. So man, that fills your hard drive like really fast. And then the other thing is, I don't know what's going on with OBS, but I look at the recording after, crystal clear, 1080, looks pristine. I upload it to YouTube and it comes out like really blurry, like it's fucking 720. No, it even says in the comments that it's 720. I'm like, the video I uploaded is 1080. Why does it keep making it 720? So I'll have to try to get to the bottom of that. I don't know what's going on. I think the only positive side to that is if I was doing a live stream, I'm pretty sure it'd be 1080. It's just the recording that's fucking it. Like, I don't get it. Even in my archive, I look at my archive, all the show recordings, all 1080. So I don't know why YouTube keeps downgrading it to fucking 720. I hope they correct it, or maybe it's something on my end, or maybe it's something to do with OBS, but I'm starting to believe there's no rocks and minerals on FOMA. Like, I've literally like walked around for hours and I haven't found jack shit around here. There's nothing. So I guess if I can't pick up rocks on FOMA, oh yeah, I should get to the other good positive stuff. Here, another viewer from yesterday said they loved the show. And yeah, and anyone who likes the show, don't forget to like it, because I know I gave the show 2 likes yesterday. I guess we got 2 other likes. Yeah, maybe only 2 people did like it. 4 people hated it and gave it a dislike. Oh well. Now I figure if my Entropia views start getting really bad and the likes get really bad, so that I just get everyone hating on me, then I'll probably just keep making episodes and just not read the comments. Or even look at them. I started to realize that after like making videos for like 3 months every day. I used to like want to check to see how they're doing, and now it's like I've almost reached the point where I don't care. It's like, who likes them? I don't care. How many views does it get? I don't care. Alright, so let's see. If you go to, here's a message from Scud, and he says if you go to control room 1 or 2, and then go to the fertilizer room off the control room, you can look on the land management terminals, and you can check out where the settings are for each dome. This is where you'll see what mobs are in each dome. Hope this helps. There is also a post on Planet Calypso forum showing what is in what dome. Yeah, that's really cool. It's like I noticed that like a lot of Entropia things, in order for you to do it in Entropia, you have to leave the game and go to another website or do something else. See, I've got the bad fucking attention span issue, so as soon as I close Entropia and go to Planet Calypso forum, chances are when I click Google I'm going to see something that distracts me and I'll completely forget. So there's where Entropia just lost like 90% of their fucking people. Yeah, I don't want to be bitching on Entropia so much. Maybe that's why a lot of people are giving it dislikes, but I'm like McCormick in a way. I'm like half McCormick, half not. It's like I love McCormick and how he makes fun of Entropia and Minder because there are a lot of issues with it. But at the same time, I think he takes it too far because I still love the game and play it all the time. I haven't seen McCormick in the game. Maybe he's never played it or he never does anymore. Maybe he got banned. I don't know what the deal is. I want to talk to him in an interview sometime. Alright, so let's get on to the next Entropia news. So what happened is, isn't that funny? I type in Entropia. Ah, there it is. And their big Entropia official channel is like pages down. Even my videos are more popular than theirs. Yeah, big shout out to Entropia partners. They pumped up my video, how to withdraw 1,000 PED from Entropia partners, to nearly 50,000 views. And when you type in Entropia, my video, because of that, comes within the top 5. It's actually it's 6. So I almost cracked the top 5. And the People Makes Game video is up to 625,000 views. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So let's go over this video with the Mindark officials. And yeah, that's an idea. Everything's so boring on FOMA that let's bring up the video and just go over it piece by piece. There's actually some interesting content. Alright, so I'll mute the video and I'll put closed captions on so we can watch the video but also get an idea of what they're saying without having to hear them talk. Alright, so if anyone's not familiar, Mindark has an official YouTube channel and they've started to release videos occasionally. So it looks like this chick's name is Mai Antonsen. I guess that must be a translation thing with English. Mai is usually not a name, but it's kind of interesting. I like her piercings, pretty cool. It's like, to be honest, this lip piercing, I don't know, I've never really been a fan of those. Same with the nose ones. I find it kind of makes people look like cattle or like animals. So I don't know, maybe that's the look you're going for. You want people to mistaken you for a herding animal, but yeah, no, she's pretty smoking. The only thing I'm concerned about is usually when you put like a whole bunch of really like 20-year-old women in charge of stuff, they've got the best intentions, but they're usually good intentions pave the road to hell. It's kind of like how like 20-year-old women are very like optimistic about the world still, but lack a little bit of reality. Like how they want to help Black Lives Matter by defunding the police, but I don't really think that's like the type of solution that would fix it. But I won't get into politics in this episode. Right, so they appreciate the positive feedback that they got from their last video. I was trying to think, what was their last video? I think they were just saying hi or something. I can't remember what they did in the last video. I did watch it, but it was very unmemorable. Man, she's got nice blue eyes. Right, it says today they're going for something different. Right, it looks like I have double the closed captions, so I'm going to turn one of them off because it's making it very confusing. Now this was kind of interesting too. I was really wondering like who is in charge of MindArt, because we don't really see anything about a company president, who the team is, all these people. So that was kind of neat to meet. So there's Henrik Nell and Magnus Eriksson. Now what I'm kind of surprised with is we see a lot of like polar opposites here between these two guys. We got the young guy who makes fun of old people, and the old guy that like knows everything, and he's extremely boring. I don't know what it is. When I was watching this interview, I was dying to hear what these two guys are saying. I just couldn't watch it. I was like, the way this guy talks, it's like so slow and monotone. He could be telling me the cure for cancer or where all the greatest boobs are in the world, and I'd be like, I just can't pay attention to you, man. You're like so boring and slow. I know, I think I did that a lot when I was doing videos at first, so I tried to mix up my voice, change the peak and tone a little bit every now and then, so it's just not the same monotone constantly. Now I was kind of surprised too, in the video they actually rip each other quite a bit. I was like, I don't know if these two guys are normally fighting each other all the time and they're just trying to pretend like to be nice to each other for the videos, and it didn't go so well. Now here is a part that I like. She was like, hey, let's get more information about MindArt, what's going on, the past, future, and all that. And they basically just talked about the past and how they got a new office with everyone's money. They said before they had a small office, got the job done, but apparently they've raked in so much money that they've upgraded to a really pristine office. I was thinking just like that castle story, how they took a whole bunch of money and went out and bought a castle instead of investing in the game, which we're trying to fund. Now it's kind of neat they were saying is this one developer has been there since near the beginning of the game, but not since the beginning. So I'm wondering, does this mean that they've actually gotten rid of all the employees that used to be at the beginning of MindArt? Or beginning of Entropia? If I had to guess, yes. All of them have been replaced. And this guy's probably the most senior one left. So he's been working on it for near 21 years, so I guess before the game even launched. Now it's funny watching this girl's reaction. You can tell that she's probably wanting to go partying in nightclubs, and listening to this old guy talk about Entropia is like driving her to drink. She's like, dear God, could you say something a little bit more exciting or interesting? It's like, I'm falling asleep too and I'm doing the interview. Now next, after this video, I'll get into the comments to hear some of the reactions, but we'll just do mine first. Now, not to bash these guys completely, that is kind of my style, bash shit. The older I get, turning into that grumpy old man. Now, I'm trying to be less grumpy. Yesterday I had a whole bunch of good news, so I should be happy about that. Just when I was getting down the dumps about my uncle and all, turned on some sports shows and seen that my Jamal Murray from my town Kitchener kicked LeBron James's ass. Beat him by like near 20 points at one point. So I was like, yeah, take that, James. The Queen's reign is over. Nah, I'm almost at the point where I'm going to have to start cheering for LeBron James soon, because I usually cheer for the underdog. And LeBron James is always like the king, so I would make fun of him. But now so many people are also jumping on the bandwagon to make fun of LeBron James. I've almost reached the point where he's become an underdog and soon I'll have to cheer for him. It's not easy going against the grain. Alright, so I think they were talking about how they like to do big events and develop stuff. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention, but as far as I know, MindArk hasn't developed a new event in decades. Except for that Crafting Mania one, which I won. It was like, woohoo, new event, let's try it. I won, yeah. No, it was funny that winning that Crafting Mania, it was such a funny event because I'm like, yeah, I won, I'll make some profit. To this day, I haven't profited from that win. Maybe if I sell the blueprint, I'll profit. But I'm starting to think that the blueprint's probably going to go for such a low price, it'll give me an ulcer. Now, and I kind of wonder too how much intelligence the CEO has. Like, not to make fun of European people, but I've noticed over the years, there's like, you know how they make fun of dumb blondes? And it's like they often assume that it's just women. And I started to realize the more blonde men I met from Europe, I'm like, holy shit, this principle also applies to men, not just women. Not to say that all blonde men have kind of a little bit slow, but I don't know, in my experience, like 90% of the ones I've met are. That's how I was starting to wonder, it's like, maybe that's why brown-haired European men have so much intelligence, like Warner von Braun. It's because all the intelligence from the blonde ones got moved over to the brown-haired. Not to make fun of blonde-haired people. They are better looking, some people say. Now, I was thinking this chick, she'd be smoking with blonde hair. Now, I do like this guy's haircut. Now, I was thinking of maybe shaving and matching his shave today, but I don't like leaving the mustache. I don't know, something about me and mustaches I just don't like. Probably because I love food so much and it tends to interfere. Decision making at MindArk. It's like, when should we start fucking, what is it? What is it, the Halloween Mayhem events? They usually start them like a month after Halloween's over. So I was like, Jesus, you guys, could you ever get the events to launch on time? I was thinking, what's next? Are we going to have the Christmas event in the fucking summer or something? I'm sure there's like little glitches and stuff that they have to correct. So I don't know what's going on, why their events are always so way behind. I was thinking, like, what was the latest new event that MindArk has done? I think Crafting Mania a couple years ago is the last I can think of. Does anyone else want to enlighten me? Has MindArk created any new content or events? Like, I'm not counting like the other Planet partners. Those are like their own separate companies doing stuff. They're not really even part of MindArk. So yeah, other planets have been doing cool content, missions and stuff, but I haven't really seen jack shit from MindArk in years. There was some talk about how they're going to do the space changes and all these great space missions and all this stuff to make space more thriving than ever. I don't know about you, last time I checked space, it looks more dead than ever. I think the pirates really took a hit because now they can't loot things as easy as they used to be. And I think the pirating, looting part of Entropia was one of the biggest fucking draws. Like, you could rob other people, take their shit, make profits. It's one of the only profitable things you can do in the game. Because if you try to take money from MindArk, they ain't giving it to you. Can't rob them. Unless you're in Sweden and you rob their office. But I highly don't recommend that. Whew. Almost Freudian slip there. Yeah, watch, one of these days there'll be a mob of like angry ex-Entropians led by McCormick, and they'll be like banging on the door of MindArk saying, "Give us our stuff back." I don't know, as far as the video production, this quality goes, it's pretty good. I like that logo in the top corner. But when it comes to hot chicks doing interviews, couldn't hurt to maybe if she had a little bit of cleavage showing. I'm not saying it has to be huge, like really prime cleavage, but just a little bit would be nice. I don't know, the piercings are kind of cool too, but just for like sex sells, right? Yeah, maybe it's some strict office policies at Mindark for dress codes. Come on, legalize the mankinis at work. Now that's what they're saying too. When it comes to men and doing videos, it's always the biceps or a little bit of fucking muscle in the arms. They consider that man cleavage. So here they're like catering to men, or I guess gay men. They're like, oh yeah, check out these big arms. So it's like, if you're gonna go for the men side of it, you can at least have women's cleavage, not just all men. Isn't that like, I don't know, a little sexist? Men are able to show off in the video, but the women can't. Maybe they've been working closely with Tulan, covering all the women up. I guess she almost has cleavage. Just open that shirt a little more. I don't know what it is. Babes involved with Mindark just seem like so much hotter, you think? It's kind of like a girl that plays disc golf. It's like normally when a girl plays disc golf, she's just hounded by all the other guys. It's mainly like a man-dominated field, so when women show up, men get a little bit crazy. You ever see that when you're working in a factory, and it's like a factory of all guys, and then one of the temp workers comes in and it's a woman, and it's like she usually doesn't last long because, like, I don't know, not to be mean or anything, but usually the guys are so fucking boring sitting in the fucking factory all day. Then when a woman starts, they like all just stare at her the whole shift. It's like, I don't know, being that much of a center of attention would be kind of awkward. Especially if you're trying to eat in the lunchroom and everyone's like watching you chew. It's like, come on, give me a break here. I don't know what's going on with CEOs of companies these days. Like, I don't know, if I had a CEO of a company and you had to pick one for Mindark, who would you pick? An old business guy that knows how to make money? Or some young guy who's like got a whole bunch of like ideals but really doesn't have any experience getting shit done or accomplished? Now that's kind of the vibe I get from our CEO right now. It's like he has a lot of good intentions. He's working with probably a lot of old people that are fighting him, that don't want to make the changes that he wants. If I was him, I'd be trying to work closer with Neverdie and get him involved, because, I don't know, Neverdie has that golden touch, the Midas touch, where a lot of things he touches just turn to gold. So I was like, man, we really should have some more people like that working in charge. Especially Neverdie's ability to get shit done, right? Like, I don't know if anyone's been to his planet and compared it to others, but he got his done in record time compared to others. See, this guy knows. He's talking about bearing fruit. Gotta bear that fruit. Set the melons free. See, I think really what they should have got at in this video, which they kind of covered it briefly, is how old the engine is in Entropia. Like the main developer guy was like, yeah, we started with this other engine and then we updated to a new engine and it opened up Entropia to all these new possibilities because we were state of the art with this new engine. And then he's like, oh yeah, but by the way, we're still using that new engine and now it isn't new anymore. Now it's like an actual really old engine and it's not helping us do new things. It's actually holding us back from doing a lot of things. Oh, here's the dog part. Did anyone see this? They were saying that the dog is the one in charge of balancing how much profits the Mindark takes and how much loot they give back to the players. And I was thinking that is so funny. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but people always said, it was like, is it dogs running the loot pool in this? Like they have no fucking concept of getting money back to the players. I think what it is like, what really pisses the players off is how many people manage to profit. I don't know, maybe this is what got my video a lot of dislikes yesterday. I should clarify that I do get into bad rhythms with crafting, and I'm not profiting, but maybe there is someone that can actually profit crafting. Like, I don't know, how many people have done videos since mine where it shows if they've actually profited or lost when it comes to withdrawing from Entropia. Like, as much as you want to show me globals and Hall of Fames and stuff, really that's what it comes down to. How much did you pay to win, and did you pay enough to win more, or did you pay to lose? If even playing Entropia for money is what you care about. I think really if I unlocked that instance in Rocktropia and had that all set, I'm pretty sure I would care about collecting profits in the game way less. Because really that's one of the only things I'm gearing up for. Like back in the day, I used to gear up for trying to buy a mothership one day or a land area. But now I'm pretty sure both of those I really don't have any desire for. The land area doesn't make sense because I could just resell it and buy shares and make more money than owning the land area would. Same thing with the mothership. I think most people that buy motherships eventually put them for sale for less than they paid. Unless they're lucky and got it cheap and able to resell it for a profit, then all the power to them. Now, how would you guys make changes to space? Like these guys were talking about what MindArt should do for changes. Sally's their most talented employee. What is your position at the company? The dog is the balance manager. Even she got a good chuckle out of that one. I think McCormick loved that part most of all. Holy, the interview's over already. Alright. Yeah, these guys before talked about the version update. That was kind of cool. Alright, so before we get on to any more Entropia content, let's get back to one of the ways that helps fund my show, keep it going. If you guys want to help out with it, every time you listen to the episode, if you want to do a free spin, that'd be really sweet. So yeah, here's the free spin. I'm at 25,932. Let's roll. Woo! 25,951. Sweet. Alright, that's pretty cool. And the other day I was bitching that you guys hadn't been signing up enough or using it. My referrals were dropping, but we're back up to 33 today. So good work. Someone even got me 81 Satoshi today already. Big thanks to them. They're at already a 4,000 total Satoshi that they helped me out with in referrals. That's pretty nice. Alright, so what I should do, let's go to that place that that person was telling me about. Remember how I was saying, or they said that I should go to this place and it'll tell me where everything is? Now I appreciate all the people that are messaging in with the tips like that. I'm a little slow, might have to tell me a few times before I remember, but I appreciate it. Alright, it says if I go to control room 1 or 2. So let's try to find this place called control room. Never actually heard of it. Oh, control room 1 and 2. I do not believe I've been here before, so it'll be interesting to see what it is. It says you have to look for the fertilizer room. Oh, this is nice. They got all the terminals here. This looks like the fertilizer room. Man, I'm almost thinking of making this the... I wish I could look at the camera and take a selfie for the fucking shit. See, like my hero will always look the other way, away from the camera. Does anyone know how to change that? So I used to be able to take selfies in the game. I haven't been able to do it since they switched the camera system. Or the buttons. I used to be able to hit 0 and then that would work. Well, if I hold 0, maybe it's the closest I can do. Just hold it. Alright, so we'll make that the cover. Alright, thanks viewer Scud for telling me about these fertilizer rooms. Never heard of them. Broadcaster. It's talking about music. I'm pretty sure I have the game music turned off. Better check, make sure I don't have any other music running. That was close. Alright, so it says I can check here for stuff. Oh, so here it says the amount of ores that are here matters. Isn't that interesting? And the tax rates. Now, if people are wondering how the tax on mining works, they think that they have to pay it after they collect it or something. But no, guys, don't worry. Anytime you find a mining find where it has taxes, it just takes it off automatically, so you don't even notice it come off. Or maybe there's something different with that and someone could correct me. Alright, so what creatures can I sweat normally? Trying to think Calypso. Calypso doesn't have any mobs that I can sweat solo, so... Like, they have those little small ones that are useless. But I don't really consider that because I'm not going to spend, like, going back and forth on a mob that has like 20 hit points. Man, so managing these land areas is kind of neat. Hey, if Entropia or MindArc ever wants to get a YouTuber to show off how to do it by giving them one. Just kidding. No, but if they wanted to do that, yeah, I would surely do that. Sounds like an even trade. I'll be an employee, create YouTube content, and all I need in exchange is a land area. Doesn't have to be a big one, even a small land area. You can call it Lee Land. Right, I'm lost. I gotta get the hell out of here. No, thanks viewer though. That was some pretty cool heads up information how to get shit. Or how to find stuff. Hey, there's even shops here. How sick is that? See, that's what I was thinking, like, not to knock on Arcadia's shop placements, but placing shops where people already go is nice. Unless you can make like a big town square, sort of like Twin Peaks, and then make it like an area like that, and then surround it with shops. But just having shops out in the middle of nowhere where no one really goes. I don't know, maybe the green thing means if I've been to it or not before. Let's check that. Yeah, it's a new one that I discovered. Let's check it out. So I'll go over a little bit. Try not to be completely on center. I'm starting to wonder, maybe fruit picking isn't even possible on these planets and moons. I thought it was. Must be just a luck or a run of bad luck. Now I'll have to go outside and trim some plants or branches off my pot plants because they died from the frost or the cold weather. We're breaking all the records in Canada this year for cold. We had the coldest spring on record in Ottawa. Some places never were colder in recorded history. And yeah, my province is one of the coldest summers. We had our earliest frost ever on record, which occurred in the summertime, not even in fall. I think it beat the previous record by months. So I was thinking maybe the global warming tax worked and we're already started an ice age. All evidence appears to show that. Now, part of my one theory about the gravity wells affecting the cycle of ice ages on the Earth. And it shows that Canada's east coast is going to get very cold, and so is Australia. So I was thinking, man, maybe my research is way off because Australia isn't getting any colder. We always hear about those fires and everything. Turns out it was protesters who set those fires, and Australia is breaking cold records. They had the coldest May on record. So I was thinking, okay, now we're starting to get the picture here. East coast of Canada is getting colder like the Ice Age, and so is Australia. Now, according to the records of my gravity well research, not only is Australia beginning to become our new South Pole, but Antarctica is going to become the new Australia. It'll be like fucking tropical, lots of life, plants, animals, just like it has been in the past when it showed the Ice Age cycle. So it's kind of neat to hear people argue about global warming and ice ages because both are partially right. It is like a cycle of some parts getting warmer and others getting colder. It's always happened. Now, for everyone on Canada's east coast, have you noticed it getting a little bit colder? Meanwhile, the Weather Channel is trying to convince us or the media is trying to convince us we're in a fucking heat wave. Now, this summer was very mild. My region, anyway. People are like, oh, it was fucking hot. I'm like, yeah, it gets hot every summer. It's actually less hot. That's why I wonder, like, the media has gotten pretty impressive at how much they can sell you the exact opposite of what's occurring. Like, to make fucking Canadians believe they should pay a tax to make it colder. Meanwhile, we're heading into goddamn ice age. Fucking coldest temperatures on record, and we're gonna start paying, we are paying taxes to make it colder. Like hundreds of years of weather records just smashed, breaking them, colder and colder. More and more snow, colder and colder. Gotta pay that tax. Alright, there was some other Entropia news I wanted to discuss. I wish I had the ad for Serial Overdrive's Entropia commercial. I like that better than what the other Mindark thing was. Next time it plays, maybe I'll record it. Yeah, I was saying, how would I make space better? First thing I would do, if I was in charge of Mindark and I wanted to make space better, is I would add a space vehicle. Remember how they teased everyone? They're like, hey, we're going to add a new vehicle to space. I was like, dear God, like, the amount of stupidity behind Mindark not expanding vehicles in space is just mind-blowing. The only thing I'm thinking is they didn't want to undercut the people that bought the motherships by saying, hey, we'll keep the mothership price high by never releasing any new ship designs. So maybe that's why in their defense you could say, hey, the reason they're fucking doing absolutely nothing is for our own good. Let's try the female young. Maybe I have a chance at sweating her. Has there ever been any good sweat parties on FOMA? That'd be cool. I'd like to go to one. Yeah, so what I would do is have the same thing, big announcement, new vehicle coming to space, and I would have it a universe-wide vehicle, so every planet can have a chance of crafting vehicle prints and looting it. And this new vehicle would be the taxi, like some sort of space taxi. You know how they have the helicopter, so that when you're on land in Entropia and you want to take a big vehicle around with lots of people, like a taxi, you pick the helicopter. It can fit tons of people. So I was thinking they need to add a taxi vehicle for space travel in Entropia. Why? Because I was thinking in taxi industry on land in Entropia, back when it was like you actually had to pay to get around. I can't remember what it was. It was like new players wanted to get the teleporter run, so they would hire a helicopter, and the helicopter would take like 6-7 people that all paid on this big teleporter mission to collect them all. So I was thinking, sure, the taxi industry expanded to space in Entropia, where people could buy a quad, or they could buy the Sleipnir, give people rides around, but how many passengers can you bring? One. Which doesn't really classify it as much of a taxi, because you're going to be limited in income by only being able to bring one passenger with you. So hence, you see Entropia's solution, they offered motherships. Motherships allowed to take, what, hundreds of people, like mass migrations from planet to planet. But the problem with that is, there isn't really a fucking giant amount of people that are traveling from planet to planet to make that like 200 passenger trip even happen, unless it's like a big event or something. Like, you know, buses when they go by in your city, like normally they're not just 1 or 2 people, usually they're always sustaining like quite a few people, and that keeps the business going. So I was thinking that's what happened with Entropia. They built a fire in space, and they have 2 things, kindling and fucking giant logs. So I was thinking that's what it is they have the kindling, which is the Sleipnirs, the quads. They can only bring kindling, 1 person. And then the other thing you have to get the fire in space going is fucking giant logs, like those huge motherships. So yeah, technically throwing a log into a fire is good, but anyone who's thrown a log into a fire kindling knows one thing. You need some medium pieces to reach the fucking logs, or it'll never catch. Can't take like a little piece of paper and try to fucking light a giant log with it. It'll just burn up and then there's nothing. So I think that's what happened in space. They fucked it by not having a medium vehicle to keep the fire burning. So if I was the first thing to do and to fix space as the president of Entropia, I would introduce a medium class vehicle. So say design like a, what would the ship look like? I was thinking the UFO. You know the UFO that they released on Rocktropia? I was like, fuck, can you imagine you could fit like, say 6 or 7 people in there, and then everyone could ride the UFO? Man, on the inside of the UFO, you can make it look so cool. Because like the technology of aliens, you could have like a fucking massive city inside the UFO. Like one of those ships that looks bigger on the inside. So anyways, yeah, that's what I would do to fix space. And maybe have that ship cost like around 1,000 or 2,000 ped. So people don't have to fucking break the bank and spend like 20,000 ped to buy a fucking ship to run a taxi business. I don't know, like I was thinking maybe the ship owners would complain about that and they'd be like, hey, you're killing my business for taxiing in the mothership. Well, they could balance it out by like saying, hey, well now there's going to be shitloads of people traveling in space all the time. And maybe people would pool together more often to take a bigger ship. Because they'd be like, hey, now there's like hundreds of people that are wanting to get around from planet to planet instead of just one or two every now and then. Alright, what else can I find to do on this thing? I guess I can go to these other ones I haven't discovered yet. Let's check them out. Yeah, sorry not to bash on Entropia like McCormick. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to do. I was going to read some of the comments of what other people thought about the video. Who knows, maybe there's a creature here weak enough that I can sweat it. Though level 4 doesn't sound quite weak enough. Yeah, it's a pretty cool looking planet. Or dome, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so what does everyone watching the video think about the discussion with MindArk and the current direction of Entropia? Alright, so I guess I'll read over some of the comments from the video next. Sadly, it looks like my comment is still the last one. I put it a while ago. If they recommend any boobs in the side here, I have no idea why. Alright, legalize the mankini, universe wide. Right, I'm right in the middle of the chat, so I'm going to move that. Help me block the ads at the same time. Alright, so I put legalize the mankini. I thought it was funny. No one liked it, so I'll like it. And I don't feel so lonely. Yeah, and this guy put a good comment. So, you did a video about what's going to happen in the future, but you didn't mention anything about what's going to happen in the future. So his comment is, so what will be done in the future? I do not understand. I don't know. If they have more of that babe from the video, they don't really need to tell us the future, do they? It's not a bad distraction. Right. These videos are a welcome step in the right direction for improving community engagement. Keep them coming. So that was from Blade of Vakire. I think that was a good comment. Oh yeah, I already liked it. Here's one from this person. We are working... man, I gotta make this bigger so I can read it. Swear it has nothing to do with age, it's just to help you guys. Alright, that looks better. Alright, he put, we are working in a much more agile way than we have before. Isn't it agile where you put things together and release fast to get the changes in the hands of the customers quickly? So you can see what works and what doesn't without spending ages on a feature only to find out or fit its purpose? Viewers were, I don't know, this is a long comment. I didn't really get it. But I'll like it anyway. This guy put a funny one, Bayrock. I should have known the game was balanced by a dog. Alright, this person, Entropia Universe videos. Hey, they make Entropia Universe videos. I'll like them for next time. Alright, it says, Mike, can we have an interview with developers? More insights to the future of the gameplay itself? Instead of having corporate talk say nothing for 15 minutes? Yeah, I'll put a like for that one. That was pretty good. Alright, guys, can we please work on bringing more Entropia people to Entropia? This game needs revival. 1.4 thousand views is just sad. Is that how many views the video has? Now they're up to 2,000 now. Now I was thinking that's what I was talking about, like that little intro screen when you load it. If you go to click the video, it opens to fucking Google, or what is it? Internet Explorer. No, like less than 5% of the internet uses Internet Explorer. So therefore you've just excluded, what is it, 95% of the potential viewers. Not a bad thing you did there, eh? Like, I don't know, give yourself a little smack across the head and be like, what are we thinking? Internet Explorer? Change the default to fucking Chromecast, for God's sakes. But anyways, maybe there's some sort of legal issues and that's why they can't put the default to Chromecast. Maybe they paid an agreement with Internet Explorer. I don't know. Alright, so this guy put roll on the floor laughing. Releases on time. Space hasn't had 1/10 of what was promised on launch. And the sale of the original warp-capable ships for more than half a decade. Lots of blah blah blah. I want to see progress. Yeah, that was a pretty good comment. I like that one. Right, so I think this guy already posted one. Another idea on the experience of transition from the old Game Boy engine to Cryogene many years ago. This must have been really quite a challenge and a really quite interesting topic to cover. Give the game away. I don't really get that comment, so I'm a little slow. Yeah, he put that it's kind of funny they put communication is key. He wants to see a video demoing some of the equipment or creation tools. This guy puts that he loves Mai. Yeah, Mai is an interesting name. She is pretty hot. Very vague interview. Fix the lag and rubber banding. I don't know, I usually never get the lag and rubber banding unless I'm doing live streaming. And then other than that, I never notice it. Could be your computer, maybe. Yeah, usually when I have a problem with Entropia, I test it on 2 different computers and then see how the problem reacts. And if it changes, I'm like, hey, it's not really fucking the game's fault. It's how I have the computer set up. Alright, love to see feature where you can get a plot of land, build your own dwelling up on from scratch, like building, get wood, stone, and make the world more active. Yeah, I was thinking that's the whole direction it was going with the Calypso land deeds, so you could get your own land plot. So they could build everything from scratch, craft your own buildings. I like that comment. I think McCormick used to have a whole bunch of comments in here, but I don't see them anymore. Maybe he got them removed? Ah, here's this guy's comment. Already in, but you need at least 9 land deeds, which were only originally 1,000 each. Now they're closer to 3,000. He put 2. And was somehow connected to tree vanishing profession. But I think only a small handful of people used it and financially inaccessible, lacking fun, generally not worth the while, and probably unfinished. Yeah, I don't know whatever happened with that. I heard that you could build land plots and you could start farming fruit. Is all that still working and finished? Okay, there's this person, King Derpy, put, there are a lot of things that I can think of right now that would make this game popular. Again, I love Entropia, but there's some things that would definitely make this game a top seller, such as a controller compatibility. Putting it on an Xbox One or a PS4, the phones now could definitely run Entropia. We love you, Entropia. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. Technically speaking, cell phones are faster than most computers these days, so they should be able to run Entropia no problem. The only thing that's lacking is some sort of interaction device. You don't really have a full keyboard to work with. If the controller could somehow work, that would be sweet. Because I know some people just sync a controller to their cell phone and then hook up their cell phone to their TV. Sort of like the Nintendo Switch. You can just cast it even. You don't even have to run a cord. Alright, I guess we'll do a quick message from the sponsor because, man, this episode's flying by. Today's show was brought to you by Crack. Crack. It'll fuck you up. Alright, thanks from France and long live. That's cool. Something about the user interface, I don't get it. Nice to see stuff like this, long overdue but appreciated. Always liked to see the developer vids. Yeah, that's cool. They say get rid of Loot 2.0 and bring back the gamble. Mega, make Entropia great again. Yeah, I don't know, I didn't really get into looting much in either loot pool, so can't really comment how much worse one is over the other. Think I like the old one better, not even sure. Alright, McCallie put, we need positive changes, more players, smaller maps, less planets, loot should be more frequent, larger. We're going to pull out, we are going to cycle. I don't know, I like some of those comments, but I love the giant players or maps and more planets. It does make it spread out a little bit too much, maybe. Like she's saying, we probably would benefit if we were more players all in one spot. It's hard to say. It could be one way or the other, I guess. They have actually done that in some cases. A lot of planets did start off way bigger and then they scaled back the maps. One bad thing that happened with that, one of the famous Entropian couples that got married in Entropia, they got rid of the location where they got married at, and then I think it badly affected the players. They were upset over that. Right, Serial Overdrive. Yeah, McKelly has a YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. Serial Overdrive has one too. He's the one who does the voiceovers for the new Entropia commercial on YouTube. So, give him a good shout out. He's doing a good job for the game. Alright, thanks for the discussion. It's really cool. Amazing English, by the way. Yeah, I guess they normally talk Swedish. I don't know, from the more I talk to people in other countries, I was surprised how many people have English as like a second language their whole country speaks. Like everyone talks about Canada being bilingual, but no, most people here only speak English or the language they're from. It's very rare you meet anyone that speaks French unless you're in the French province that makes it illegal not to speak it. Alright, so anyways, I like the fact that MindArc are doing these kind of games. Feels kind of generic. You could apply what they say this game. Yeah, it's kind of negative, but it's my kind of comment. Incredibly disingenuous, or at best shows a vast disconnect the company has with its actual users and their experiences and concerns. Yeah, to be honest, when I watched it, it did kind of freak me out. I'm like, holy shit, the people in charge of this company look like they're leading it to a disaster, but I'm hoping like maybe that's just a little bit negative thinking. Because it seems like they have good intentions and I always worry about that. I kind of wish there were some like hardcore like business guys in charge and like, hey, I don't care about shit, let's just make some money. At least they'll be honest about it. Seems like these people are kind of out to get the money. They're just milking an old engine as long as they can. They have no real intention of changing anything or working on anything. It's just a guess on my part. Reopen the new brig. See, that's the thing, where they get into this talking about getting the game for VR. You can actually already play Entropia in VR. It's not something that's not compatible. Like PC VR, I think, who was it? I think it was Neverdie. He was showing off how it works. But I think the problem with VR is it makes you really sick being in that environment. So you can't handle long Entropian sessions in VR. Maybe if it was augmented reality, that's what I was thinking in the future, but even that wouldn't work very good. Yeah, better moderation against scammers. I think they should get rid of that agility thing. Like that people creating events that encourages people to create new accounts because they have lower agility. That's not a good thing. I know they have good intentions and they're trying to stop people from just scamming the price of sweat, but that's how the free market works. You can't fucking make crazy shit to try to stop it. The cure ends up being worse than the disease, right? I don't know, some people here are talking about the old engines and debating which is good and which is better. Better wrap this up, the show's coming to an end. As a pretty new player, thanks for making sense. That was cool. This guy says he used to play a lot in version 9 till 10, and then he's been off ever since. I don't know, the game is so easy to make money for free players, it's almost ridiculous. Like fucking, if you sign up for Entropia partners, they'll be paying you like almost $40 a month US to just play Entropia. So I don't know, there's lots of ways for new players. The only thing I can think of is maybe if you're from a country that can't work with Entropia partners, because they do have a list of only certain countries are eligible because of the ad revenue. The most Swedish interview ever. Yeah, that's what they're saying. The clothes that they're wearing and the camera angles were a little bit lacking. I was thinking it would have been perfect with a little bit of cleavage and have the camera looking down. Mind art never changes. 15 minutes of repetitive featureless phrases that have been heard every so often since 2009. Some things never change. Could you add more melee weapons? Yeah, nice to see more work on the game. That's what I was thinking, as cheesy as this video was, and some people are a little bit harsh about it, it's like I'd like to see new stuff, so hey, at least they're doing something. Yeah, like Lord Spade says, he's got a cool channel too. Keep up the amazing work. Oh yeah, Lord Spade said he wanted to be on Skype on the show one day, so I gotta try to get a hold of him again. I've been slacking. Alright, so that was some pretty cool comments. I guess that'll wrap up today's Entropia video. Looks like I got attacked by some creatures. Sorry about my lack of being able to get any loot on FOMA. I think what I'm going to do is, while you guys are gone, is I'm going to wrap up this adventure on FOMA and decide what the hell I should do. Holy fuck, what's the date today? Wednesday. Yeah, I gotta fly to wherever this auction's going to take place. Yeah, I think it goes sweat, or the auction and the sweat event the next day. So maybe I'll just go back to Arcadia. Maybe that's the best plan. Alright, so I'll try to figure out that, guys, and have a plan for the next episode, and hopefully I'll have some PED coming in. Because man, all these days on FOMA is like a waste of time. You can see I'm not really getting anything done. Maybe I should put a few things for sale in my shop and then I'll head out. Alright, if you want to help out my show, you can do it with Patreon, Society 6, Swagbucks, GameKit, Hideout TV, or Bitcoin. You've heard me talk about them all before. The links are below in the more information button. Virtual Mate's a sex machine for adults and men only, but for ladies, they know who to call. Just kidding. And yeah, what is it? Entropia Magazine, all the different Entropia people I mentioned throughout this video. There's lots of other cool channels out there, guys. Don't forget to check them out too. Show them some love with some likes so we can expand the community bigger and bigger. If you happen to get any foul young dung in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, then give the show a dislike. But if that doesn't happen, you can help with a like. I really appreciate it. Alright, take care for everyone. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Sorry for the short episodes. I'll try to keep the hour ones coming. Gotta just make sure I don't bump the stop recording button. Never purchase the products from my sponsor. It will ruin your life. Here's 3 at the same time.